Welcome to this week's testimonial. My name's Carl. I'm one of the owners of Athletes Authority, and in this week we've got Lachlan Antoinette here with us. You are what, 17 at the moment?
I just turned 18.
Just turned 18. He's in his final year at school, HSC, and I reckon he's by far one of the most talented athletes I've known. At least, and wait for this, you're ranked ninth in Australian Opens for hammer throw. You've got a few national records for sub-junior and junior powerlifting.
Not records, but national titles. Yeah.
National titles.
I think maybe some records to come.
Maybe some records you don't even know.
No, to come maybe.
To come, awesome. So let's start there. What are your plans? What do you do? What do you like to do? Fill us in.
So obviously, powerlifter. I compete, at the moment it's 83s. The weight class is changing to 85s.
It is.
So a few kilos, I can boost up my numbers a little bit.
Awesome.
I'm a hammer thrower as well, so track and field. So I start off with decathlon. As I've gotten a bit older, I've gotten a bit bigger, not so much suited for running and jumping as much anymore.
Yeah.
So as well now, I just do shot put and hammer. They're my main events.
Yeah.
In athletics, and then 85 kilo powerlifting. Yeah.
Awesome. And an HSC.
Exactly.
How do you manage all of that?
I mean, time management. Obviously, that's a big aspect to it. So yeah, I mean, particularly this year, a lot more stress, obviously just in general, becoming an adult, and then setting goals as well, visualizing what I want. And yeah, awesome. Time management as well has been the biggest aspect for this year, because obviously in previous years I can maybe train 3 hours a day, whereas now I can't necessarily do that, especially not every day.
Yeah, totally. You've got schoolwork and probably being adult commitments at home and stuff like that as well. Exactly. Mate, awesome. What brought you initially to Athletes Authority? Why did you decide, out of all the gyms that you could train at, and I know you've got an amazing school gym as well, why come here?
Well, I mean, the comp equipment's really the biggest thing. It's just like I had 2 competitions last year. I didn't do as well, particularly my squats and my deadlifts. It was just I was probably lifting another 10 kilos in the gym. Yeah. Just because the bar was so much whippier. Yeah. And it's just I get there. Not only would I be able to not lift as much, but it technically, say my squat, my descent could be much faster. I'd get away with it in training. Yeah. But the comp equipment, it just didn't work. It's stiff,
it's rigid, it's completely different,
so my technique didn't carry over, the weights didn't really carry over the comp. And then I just needed something more, I guess, that would carry over on the day. And then,
awesome.
Yeah, from there, that actually really ended up helping my last comp last year, because I was only training here about 2 months, but just because everything was so specific, I didn't really have that lack of specificity on the day.
Yeah. Cool. So initially it was for you to come here and train on competition specific powerlifting equipment.
That was initially, but then obviously the environment's obviously I didn't exactly expect that, because it's an individual sport.
Yeah.
It's obviously athletics, so it's always just you versus you, whereas I can learn a lot more. I didn't initially realize that though.
So when you say the environment, what do you mean by that?
So obviously as an individual athlete, you don't really think about a team aspect, but you can rub shoulders with people with common goals, I guess.
Yeah. So being surrounded by a whole bunch of people like you with serious athletic ambition, who seriously want to push some records and some titles and all that kind of stuff, being around those types of people. Yeah. What did that mean for you? So now that you're rubbing shoulders with some serious powerlifters, how has that changed how you feel about yourself, how you think, and how you perform as an athlete?
I think setting another limit, I guess, as well as just being more aware of, for me, I was so aggressive in my training, whereas now I realize there's more to it than just training super, super hard.
Yeah, I've noticed you're a bit more controlled, a bit more structured, a little more composed as well.
Yeah, that for me wasn't even a concern. I guess just opening myself up to different lifters and different, I guess,
perspectives, viewpoints. Yeah.
Just rather than seeing what I see the best lifters doing, maybe stuff that more relevant to me as well. Yeah,
because I've noticed that in terms of watching you realistically all year, you've really taken on advice, and you've done that really well, because we've obviously got some pretty serious powerlifters here, and you seem to really been quite happy to go under their wing and learn from them and be guided from them, and it's been quite amazing to see you progress not just as an athlete, but as an adult. Like you came in this budding young kid with a lot of enthusiasm, and now you're a lot more composed, you're a lot more developed, and that's been really cool to see. Now, something I wanted to kind of touch on is you seem to have quite a few mates here now. So, so tell me a bit about that.
Well, yeah, just I've met a few people that come through the gym, and I mean, we're as well as being just guys my age. Whereas, I mean, typically places I've trained in the past, it's just been like, say, commercial gym, they're usually older people or people that aren't powerlifters. Whereas I've got, mates here that are, you know, I can talk to them outside the gym because we can still relate because we're, the same.
You're all 18-year-olds,
and then,
all going through high school.
Yeah, and so it's really good. And I mean, we can all get our schedules working, together to train together, and it's good. Yeah.
Awesome. So you do our physio membership as well.
Yeah.
So I want to quickly bring that up. How have you found having a physio regularly that you can see, as opposed to the more reactive approach where you get injured and then get a physio? Tell me a bit about that.
Yeah. So that's actually helped quite a bit because particularly my pec's been an issue quite a bit this year, and so really with that it's like there's no point of like straining and then seeing the physio. It's like I can, obviously have a more proactive approach to it, and then rather than particularly like obviously with hammer throw as well, shot put, powerlifting, it's like I'm putting some of the more stressful sports, I guess, on my body.
For sure, a lot of weight. There's a lot of weight. There's a lot of force going through the joints,
exactly.
Right?
So I can have a more proactive approach to my training, and so then I can always be ahead of I guess the April, I guess you can say.
So tell me a little bit about where you want to go now. So what's the ambition? You're about to finish high school, so obviously that's a focus, right? Yeah. But in terms of your athletic career moving forward, what's on the cards?
I suppose for me, obviously next year I'll be out of school, so there'll be, I suppose, more time for training. Yeah. So I think I'm still yet to decide in terms of track and field. I think powerlifting for me will always be the main sport. Yeah. But this is because I enjoy it more and I see myself more potential there. Yeah. But next year, I mean, I want to represent Australian powerlifting. That's been my goal for a while. I think towards the end of this year, I mean, I guess breaking national record is something I wanted to do since my first comp, and I feel like I'm in a good position to do that now.
Awesome.
But I guess just continuing to progress year after year is really. I don't want to set any say I want to squat 300 or deadlift 300.
Sure, you don't want a number per se. Yeah.
Yeah, I found this year less so focusing on that as much as just training week to week and just the goal of just improving.
They call that trusting the process, right? Like falling in love with the process, not the goal. Awesome. Yeah. So well, let's talk about that then. How far have you come since you joined Athletes Authority? Let's talk the numbers for a second. Where did you start and where are you now?
So in terms of what I've done in comp, nationals last year I did 490 total, and so that was I think at the time my PRs in comp were a 180 squat, a 107.5 bench, and a 210 deadlift. Yeah. But I'd done a lot more in training. That was
on bumpers and Olympic bars.
So I thought I was projecting like 30 kilos, probably more on my total. Yeah. Whereas I did a 542.5 last November, but now I plan on competing this November. Yeah. I think there's probably quite a few more kilos, a lot more kilos there.
Awesome.
So, I mean, it's hard to say at the moment, but so in training, I've done a 250 deadlift.
So 40 kilos on your comp max.
40 kilos, and it was like RPE 7.
Awesome.
So like maybe
probably more like 50 kilos 50, in the tank. Yeah.
60 maybe. I don't know. And then bench, I did 125 sub 6 RPE. So there's probably another 10, 15 kilos. Yeah, I assume. Bench is a little bit, I don't know. It's like if you can move a weight sub 6, you add 5 kilos.
And then it's an 11 out of 10 and you can't move it at all. So
I don't really know there, but I think.
But you said that you were 107.5 before you joined the gym. So that's up 17.5 kilos anyway.
Exactly, yeah. So that's
pretty awesome.
Pretty awesome.
For 9 months, yeah.
And then my squat, I went from 180 to 200.
Yeah.
I haven't, since my last comp, I haven't touched over 200. Yeah. So I think a lot of that working here was just having the intentions of I don't have to, just because I say just because I probably can squat 220 doesn't mean I have to do it.
Sure.
So by the time I come to comp, I'll I'll be definitely well prepared. Yeah.
So you kind of feel like you've learned a bit of humility and humbleness here as well, which is obviously a good quality to have, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. So what would you tell people if they were serious about powerlifting, or at least they were serious about improving their strength? Why should they come here and not a random commercial gym where they're probably training out right now?
I think probably the biggest thing is just having the sport appreciated. That's probably the biggest thing. I think, particularly like with social media and that kind of thing, you can, I guess, see all sorts of different things that happen in a commercial gym. People maybe not liking you slamming your deadlifts, or people, I guess, as well, the equipment, obviously, that's a big aspect as well. So, I mean, comp spec equipment, having it appreciated, not only appreciated, but actually like glorified. It's a big part of the gym. Everyone here, I guess, appreciates powerlifting. So that's a big aspect to it, as well as this gym holds competitions as well. That's a big aspect. And as well as the community. That's awesome. That's a huge aspect as well.
Yeah. Well, Lockie, thanks for coming on the show. Thanks for sharing some of your insights, and good luck in November for both your HSC and Nationals. Thanks for being on the show. Cheers, man.
Thank you.
It's all done. Good. Thanks, man. Easy. Loved it.